I wanna praise you, Yahweh. I wanna thank you, Yahweh. I'm so grateful, Yahweh. I wanna thank you, Yahweh.
For the promises. Life is a blessing and life is a lesson. Life is a setback and life is progression. Life is uneasy at times, life is comfortable. Life will lift you up and at times, life will humble you. Life is a gift, you better thank the Lord for it. Every chance you get, someone is less fortunate. Life goes in circles, life throws you curveballs. Life can be deceiving like preachers in the church halls. Life isn't promised. If I could be honest, the fact that I'm alive, that time has me astonished. Cause I came from the underground, being tossed around, being lost and found. Now they adore the sound of the priest, far from a nuance. Verses are proverbs, writtens are the new songs. Another song for the blocks and the avenues. Everything is plain, I don't speak to them in parables.
I wanna praise you, Yahweh.
I wanna praise you.
I wanna thank you, Yahweh. I'm so grateful,
I'm so grateful.
Yahweh. I wanna thank you, Yahweh.
For the promise. I see the world through different eyes. Every Sunday got the preacher telling different lies, hearing things that I really couldn't visualize. Should've listened, Big said you'd be hypnotized. I was a victim too, I say respectfully. They all up in the soup, don't know the recipe. Talking about I'm not who I was bred to be. Count me out, man, who made you the referee? Trying to get stripes, trying to cloud chase. At 19, I made an about face. Thanks to Christ, it's also about grace. And they lied when they said it ain't about race. But that's another song, I ain't the first to tell you. Woke up on a deeper and a surface level. Learned the laws and the laws changed my attitude. And this song is to show you how a gratitude. I'm so grateful.
I wanna praise you, Yahweh. I wanna thank you, Yahweh. I'm so grateful,
We're so grateful.
Yahweh. I wanna thank you, Yahweh.
Now let it ride.
I wanna praise you, I wanna thank you.
What's going on? What's going on, Israel? What is going on? Welcome to another Lives of Israel Sunday afternoon class. We appreciate everybody being here. We want to give all Yahweh, the supreme intellect of the universe, and we do so in the name of his only son, Yahweh Shah, who the world calls Jesus Christ. We appreciate everybody being here on a Sunday afternoon. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you are here with us. As always, let's run it down. I want to shout out everybody that's watching us on our YouTube channels, Maccabees TV, as well as the lionsofisrael.com, Lions of Israel class. I appreciate you, brothers and sisters that are watching us, and sisters of the Maccabees, by the way, as well. We're broadcasting on that as well today, as well as everybody that's watching us or listening to us on Clubhouse. Today's class is very, very important. For those of y'all that were tuned into the class yesterday, and we were talking about things that are going to happen in the future. As things progress, things are going to get a lot more chaotic. And what we always tell brothers and sisters is you have to have a plan in the midst of chaos. If you're going to sustain yourself in the midst of the upcoming chaos that's going to happen, depending on where you stand, whether you're going to get with the digital ID, you're not going to get with the digital ID, or whatever you're going to do, you're still going to have to sustain yourself, whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you have children, you're going to have to be able to sustain yourself, right? So a few years ago on my personal website, which was wakeupjacob12.com, as well as Sister Malika's website, we had a 4-page PDF that we made for the nation of different things that you should have in your house at the ready, so that if society breaks down tomorrow, you're able to sustain yourself to a certain level because you have these things at the ready. I relaunched my website recently, so it's not on there anymore. I don't see it on Sister Malika's website anymore. So we had to reimagine it and rebuild it because we're coming into that time. We're not going to sit back and wait for brothers and sisters to come up with stuff of your own. We came up with a list for you of things that you need at the ready in your house at all times that you should have at your disposal as we proceed to what's getting ready to come, because chaos is coming, whether you believe it or not. So for my people on Clubhouse, the link is at the top of the room. You guys can come over to YouTube. It's going to be a PowerPoint presentation. Please feel free to come over and ask questions. I'm not going to see your questions on Clubhouse, so come over to YouTube. If you have any questions, any comments, click the link at the top of the room, come over to YouTube. We appreciate y'all. Ping people to the room on Clubhouse, on YouTube. Share this on every platform. Before we get started, I do have Elder Zahab with us this Sunday, so if he wants to unmute real quick and say anything before we get started, Elder Zahab, the floor is yours.
Hey, Shalom, King. All praise to the Most High. Is my
So,
volume, Lord. Volume
sound
good?
good.
Okay, all
Yeah.
praises. Yeah, just want to echo what Priest is saying. First and foremost, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh B'Shem HaMashiach Yahushua, right? This is something that's needed and timely. You know, my wish is that more congregations would do something like this. I got a I got a suspicious feeling they do it, but they do it only amongst themselves, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But if we are supposed to be helping one another, right? Set the right example, maybe do it openly so you could inspire smaller congregations to look into what you're doing and say, yeah, this is the right thing. Let me do this. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes different congregations they get very private. If you're not with them, they're not gonna help you. They're not gonna show you the right way. They're not. See, LOI, we're not into that, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're at peace and you got love for us, we have peace with you, and we got love for you. If you need help, it's reciprocal. So my wish is that more congregations would touch on these practical solutions, like the priest is gonna get into, because it's good to know scriptures. That's the foundation, so you could apply them in your life. But what good is having 1,000 breakdowns and precepts if you don't even know how to survive what's coming? Scripture says what? Faith without works is dead. So you get the faith, that's mandatory. That's level, that's entry level to get in. But once you're there, you got to apply it. You got to do something, brothers and sisters. So this is timely, and I thank the Most High for putting the spirit on priest. That's it. Let's go.
So without further ado, what's going to happen today is always on Sundays. I'm going to allow Sister Malika to make the presentation, and myself and Elder Zahab will chime in if necessary, if we have any ideas or any comments about the things she's presenting. I want you, brothers and sisters, as you're watching this, please take notes if you could, and come back to this video because this video is very timely. Once again, you guys on Clubhouse, the link is at the top of the room. We're not about to wait for anybody. It's already after 5 o'clock. Without further ado, Sister Malika, if you want to unmute, you can unmute, share your screen, and let's get started.
Shalom, everyone. Shalom. Shalom. As always, I always just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. So if the people in the chat can hear me, just
You're right into it.
Oh, great,
You're fine.
great.
Go right
there
into
you go. Okay, I just want to give a quick shout out to everyone that's watching. As always, I appreciate you guys coming here every Sunday. So shout out to you guys, Sister Kelly, Scott. It's a lot of you guys today. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to you guys. Shalom to everybody. I'm gonna get right into it because it's people have to go to work in the morning, and so let's get to it. I'm about to share my screen as always. All right. Give me 1 second, guys, as I share my screen. All right. So, as Daniela mentioned, a few years ago, I made a list and I put it up on some websites. And unfortunately, we don't have the websites. We kind of lost the website, so we lost the list. And so it's funny because Priest Daniela came to me a couple of weeks ago and asked me to put the list together again so we could put it back up, right? And this week, there wasn't even any talk of a hurricane. And it's funny because a week and a half later, 2 weeks later, there's a hurricane that hit the island, and so I was like, wow, what a coincidence, So let me get right into it. There we go. So today we're talking about sustaining yourself in a chaotic future, right? It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. So what I have done here is I have put together somewhat of a checklist, right? To prepare yourself during a natural disaster or anything else that may, that the powers that be may have up their sleeves, right? Of course, obviously, this list is not the totality of what you may need to prepare for a disaster. Okay. Let me just say that, but it is a start. It is a start. Okay. So on the first thing I put here is to make sure that, during any type of chaos, you want to make sure that you're checking in on the people that are most vulnerable, which is your elders, the children, the elderly, whether it be your family member or maybe a elder brother next door, an elder sister, auntie, whoever they are. It just, even if you're the next door neighbor, check in on the elders, because that's what we did growing up. As you guys know, or if you come from an area where disaster strike all the time, like Florida, Florida gets hurricane, the Caribbean get hurricane, it gets to a point where we're just used to it. So these are some of the things that we tried to do, just checking on the elder next door, call and make sure they're okay. So I put together, let me hang on there we go. You know what, before I get go any further, every week I have to make a note, because I get phone calls from people who've asked us to talk about things. So I like to make a note so I don't forget. Okay, so you guys know that every week the viewers reach out to us and ask questions and ask us to mention certain things before when we go live. So we have a few people who have asked us questions, and I'm going to respond to a brother from Brooklyn. I don't know if he's watching, but hopefully he is. He asked me to discuss what caused high blood pressure. So this is something that I've been saying for years. I'm going to show you some of the things that cause hypertension. I want to get into it quickly, but I try not to ignore your request. Okay. So I'm going to go through a couple of the things that cause hypertension for the brothers. The brother who's probably watching, I'm not sure if he is, but hopefully he is. So I know a lot of people eat fish, and so we're going to talk about the fishes today. And for those of you who eat fish, okay, as this is a big problem, and I'm going to try and get through this very quickly. So approximately 85% of seafood sold in the United States is imported, meaning it comes from a different country, okay, and more than half of that imported seafood comes from what we call aquaculture. And aquaculture is cultivating or farm raising of fishes, shrimp, lobster, so on and so forth, right? It's cultivating or farm raising of sea animals, right? So this means that a significant amount of the fishes sold in the United States is farm raised, okay? Now, the question is, how does farm-raised fishes contributes to high blood pressure? I just wanted to make this very clear before I continue. Contaminated farm-raised fishes can contribute to high blood pressure through the accumulation of mercury. And this is something that I've been teaching for years. I've been saying this, mercury from the farm-raised fishes. It's not just the shrimp and the lobster, it's coming from the fishes as well. Mercury and PCB from contaminated feed and their environment. Farm-raised fishes can accumulate toxins like methyl mercury from their feed, and unlike wild fish, they cannot easily get rid of these toxins, okay, which means their bodies are not able to excrete these toxins. So when you eat these fishes, you are eating all of that mercury. PCBs are persistent in the environment and can build up in the fish's tissues over time. Researchers have found that chronic exposure to environmental toxins such as mercury, arsenic, and PCBs is associated with cardiovascular vascular diseases, including hypertension, aka high blood pressure. Okay, I just wanted to bring that out. And I also have a video here, hopefully it played, that I wanted to show you guys quickly of what's going on.
In this video, there are some scenes of animal abuse which may shock you. The dirty truth of salmon farming in Britain, around the world actually, it's got to be one of the best kept secrets of the animal farming industry. And it's not just the farmed salmon that are affected by this, it's the wild salmon as well. So if you choose that because you think you're getting something better or doing something better, you need to think again. Just how bad salmon farming is, we're going to show you now. We took a closer look at salmon farming, how it's being conducted, and the effect it has on the environment. The investigation showed disease, high rates of mortality, 25% of all fish die before they're harvested, pollution, cross-contamination, even the use of poison. You can't avoid this. If you buy farmed salmon, this is the reality. It doesn't matter who you buy it from. The inherent problem of salmon farming is the same as for all animal industrial farming. The sheer number of creatures being held in small spaces. In this case, nets in the seas and the lochs of Scotland. These nets are overfilled with tens of thousands of fish compressed into one place within which they can barely move. As for disease and infection to spread rapidly, not just amongst themselves but into wild fish as well. Perhaps the worst of these is sea lice. They embed themselves under the skin of the fish and often just can't be completely removed. They literally eat the fish alive while they're in the net and before you eat them. Sea lice are parasites. They breed quickly in these cramped conditions and they pose a major hazard for the young, wild, migrating salmon that swim past the nets. We found seriously sick and dead fish at every salmon farm we visited. The dead fish can stay at the bottom of the nets for days or weeks, and they're all in the pens together, the dead, the dying, and the soon-to-be dead fish. In an attempt to deal with the sea lice, these salmon farmers are using insecticides, chemical treatments. They're trying to poison the sea lice, but they're poisoning the surrounding area at the same time, crabs and even otters. And it's not just the living conditions of these fish that are bad. Look at the casual violence with the way they're treated when nobody's looking. So there it is. That's the truth of salmon farming. And if you like the look of that, then carry on and buy the stuff from the people that we're about to put up on the screen now.
By the way, look at the first people that they're putting up on the screen here. Aldi. For those of you who shop at Aldi, they sell salmon. You think they're selling some organic, wild caught, fancy salmon? Nope. And I would go out on a limb here and say the same goes for Trader Joe's and all these other folks. But I might be wrong. If I am wrong, allegedly, I'll say allegedly. Okay. I'll say allegedly. I'll show a little bit of this clip and then we'll move on.
Overfishing is destroying ecosystems and depleting our oceans. But is factory farming of fish really a good alternative? This compassion over killing investigation
In case you guys didn't see that, you missed that. It says the fungus is eaten away at the fish's face. And now look at what this guy is doing here.
is the first of its kind, bringing you inside the cruel and unnatural world of salmon aquaculture. Every year, hundreds of millions of fish are raised in these filthy underwater cages.
Hopefully by Monday morning, all the fish aren't dead in here. He won't make it. No, he's gonna just suffer until he's fucking dead.
Fish are sensitive, intelligent animals.
Look at this.
Many use tools and even recognize themselves in mirrors.
Look at that. Look at that.
Their
Y'all
pain
see that, right?
sensors are remarkably similar
This is
to
what
ours.
they're packaging and selling for us to eat. Did y'all see what he just did? Look at that. Look at it again.
Their pain sensors are remarkably
Let's do that
sensitive,
again.
intelligent animals. Many use tools and even recognize themselves in mirrors.
Look at that.
Their pain sensors are remarkably similar.
Okay, we're gonna move on from that. I just wanted to show you guys what goes on in these farm raised meat factory. All right, so the question was, what are some of the things what cause high blood pressure? Okay, so as you can see, fishes, specifically farm raised fishes, contains a lot of mercury. Okay, that's one cause, because high blood pressure has several causes. All right, unhealthy diet contributes to high blood pressure. Stress, a lack of sleep, inactivity, meaning a lack of exercise, a lack of physical activity, that weakens your heart, which leads to high blood pressure. So if you're not exercising, your heart gets weaker, and that can lead to high blood pressure. Okay, smoking, excess alcohol consumption, certain medications such as medication for kidney issues and so on and so forth, thyroid issues. All right, and as we discuss, mercury from the fishes, the farm raised fishes, and also a vitamin D deficiency can also lead to high blood pressure. So those are some of the things that can lead to high blood pressure. If you're dealing with high blood pressure, you might want to know where it's coming from, what's causing it. Okay, so the brother want to know what caused it and what some things that we can use to fix it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen quickly. And there's another brother who wanted to know something that helps to help build testosterone. So I'm going to share my screen quickly here and answer those two questions. Hopefully you guys are able to see me sharing the screen here. So if you're able to see, we're on the Grassroot Botanical website, and the brother wants something. Oops, where do we go? Something to help with hypertension, which is high blood pressure. So we're going to scroll down, and hopefully the brother is watching. This is what's available for hypertension right here. If you're watching, my brother, anybody who needs this product, here it is a liquid product, and it goes directly to the bloodstream, and it helps with hypertension. It helps to bring your blood pressure level down. Okay. And the other brother who wants to know, what do we suggest for, what was the other question? I believe, let's see. The other question was, what do I suggest to help build testosterone? Okay, this product right here, all the herbs in here, or at least 98% of the herbs in this product, helps to boost testosterone levels. Okay, this product right here, it's called Muscle Force Max. It gives you energy. It helps you to build muscle, but it also helps to build testosterone. That right there. And I suggest you take this with some zinc. As you guys know, your testosterone You know, that's a part of your male anatomy, right? That's all the herbs in here deals with the male anatomy. There we go. Let's see what the other question was. There's a sister from Houston whose teenage daughter is having issues with her monthly cycle, and she wants me to suggest something for that. So let's get to where that is. Sorry, guys. Okay, if the sister is watching, this product right here, and again, we're on the Grassroot Botanical website. This is a product that is going to help your daughter to help with her monthly cycle, sister, if you're watching, okay? This right here. It's called the Uterine Fibroid PCOS Hormonal and Menstrual Formula, all right? There we go. There we go. Grassroot Botanicals, that's the website you go to, all right? And let's see what the other... Okay, so there are a few of the members from our group on Facebook who asked about something for the lung. And one, I think it was a brother who have issues with COPD. They were dealing with COPD. They have coughing, a lot of mucus and phlegm, and they wanted to know what we have for the lung. Okay, so again, going to share the screen. And again, we're going back to the website Grassroot Botanicals here. And we're scrolling down. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Having a little technical difficulties. There we go. There's something right here. It's called the lung cleanse, okay? For cough, mucus, and COPD. There it is right here, all right? So hopefully the brothers and sisters are watching from our group on Facebook. I did share the link there in the group, but you know, if you guys are watching, there it is right here, okay? It's called the lung cleanse. Okay. All righty, let's get back to it. Somebody says there's an echo. All right, I don't know what's going on with the echo.
Yeah, it was there, but it wasn't that bad. Yeah, it was there, but it wasn't that bad. You can work through it.
All right. Okay, let's continue. Okay, before I continue, right? I want to say I made a note here. I'd like to thank the brothers and the sisters who have personally reached out to me to ask about my family in Jamaica and to send their well wishes. All right. I just, that really means a lot to me. That really did. So thank you guys for those of you who were kind enough to reach out to me. And also there was, I want to thank the brothers and sisters who were kind enough to send small donation to help out with essentials such as food and water, etc. for my family back home. And I also want to do this. I want to thank my husband, man. I want to thank my husband for being so patient, for being so patient with me, and for being my rock through the emotional roller coaster that I've been going through within the last few months. Okay. He's the most patient and the most caring person you could ever ask for as a friend. Let me tell y'all something. Okay. You know, y'all know Priest Daniela is Priest Daniela, right? But Priest Daniela is one of the, if you ever need a friend, a patient, caring person, he's it. Okay. Very patient. He's been very patient and very caring. He's a true friend. because let me tell y'all something. I talked to you guys about health and wellness here. You know, Most High have put a spirit on me to come and talk to you guys. It's a passion. It's in my spirit. I don't even think I could help not do this if I wanted to. It's something that the Most High have just put on my spirit, right? And I know a lot of you guys appreciate it. You know, for the last few months, I've come here after drying my tears. I come and I sit in front of you guys every week. But I've been dealing with, my own issues, my mom being ill and being in the hospital. It's very stressful. But she's out of the hospital. But what's funny is, as soon as she got out of the hospital, she's in bed at home recovering. A Category 5 hurricane hit the Highland, right? So needless to say, it's been extremely stressful. And I couldn't ask for a better person who have been very, very patient with me and very considerate and helpful, I just want to say that. So shout out to Priest Daniela. Very, 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 he's a rock. He's been my rock. So I'm sure every one of you by now have heard about the disaster in Jamaica. My family is there, including my mother and sister, and they were affected by the hurricane, and they've lost some things, but they're very grateful to be safe and they're doing their best to recover, but they could use some help with essentials as they rebuild. So this week, while I'm here, I'm talking to you guys, I'm personally asking for small donation. The donation will go towards food and basic supplies while they gather themselves to rebuild. Okay, if you'd like to help,
Real quick,
you can donate.
real quick, Sister Rona.
Yeah.
The Cash App is scrolling across.
The Cash App is scrolling across the bottom of the screen.
Send it right there.
You guys can send it right there. And
It's the appropriate place. So just
it's
send it to
the
that Cash App.
appropriate place. So just send it to that Cash App across the screen.
Okay. All right. I'm not able to see it myself, but okay. Are you able to say the Cash App out loud? So maybe I can type it
It's
here.
just like
It's just like
Maccabees TV.
it's Maccabees TV.
$sign.
Oh, it's Maccabees.
Maccabees
$sign
TV.
Okay.
Maccabees TV.
Yes. So if you guys send
All
it
right.
there, if the Most
So
High
if you
moves you
guys
to
send it there, if the Most High moves you to
Put a
send
note.
it there,
what it's
put a
for,
note.
for help.
what it's for help
Help through the hurricane.
that went through the hurricane.
We'll definitely appreciate that. If the Most
We
High
definitely
moves you to do
appreciate
that.
that. If the Most High
It's
moves
not
you to
something
do
we
that.
normally do.
It's not something we normally
Bible
do.
says really receive,
Bible
freely
says
give, which
freely
is what we do.
Receive, freely give, which is what we do
all the time. There's a lot of people in need, so
There's a lot of people in need, so this is the one time we said we'll just
That's it.
That's it. You got it.
All right. So, and guys, you're not pressured to give. You can give. If all you have is $5 to give, I'm personally very grateful for that. Okay. We're not asking for thousands of dollars or even hundreds of dollars. If all you can give is $5, I'm personally very grateful. All right. All right. Sorry about that. Hang on, guys. Okay. So, one of the first thing on the list that we have here for preparing for disaster is water, okay? And I cannot tell you how many hurricanes I've been through, okay? In my entire life, I've been through so many. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but my dad passed away during a hurricane. So I've been through a lot of hurricane, and I know that water is very essential. When when a hurricane comes, one of the first thing to go is your electricity and water. All right. And even though you can kind of make it through without the electricity, especially people who are used to flooding, right? We're used to making it without electricity, but the water is very essential. So this should be on the top of your priority list, is the storing of drinking water. Okay. And I'm suggesting that you store boxed water, okay, because long-term storage in plastic can leach chemical into your water, okay? And I have put a link here. I try to put a link in each of the things that I'm showing here, okay? So there's a link here. And by the way, when I'm done with this live today, we are going to upload this entire list to hopefully Priest Daniela will tell you where it will be uploaded. But this list will be uploaded where you guys are able to go there and download it for free. All right. So we'll be providing all this entire list with the links where you can copy and paste these links into Google, and it'll take you to where you can find each of these items that I'm showing today. So boxed water is recommended for storing, for drinking water. Okay. All right. If you're a Benjamin, right? If you're from the island, you know about this right here. And maybe some people from like down south, you guys know about, storing water in stuff like this, the drums, right? This is something that you should always have at least one or a couple of these in the home, right? To prepare just in case, because you're going to need water to wash up, right? You don't know how long it's going to be until your water come back on. So make sure you have a couple of these where you're able to, fill it up, right? And keep it there. Depending on the size of your family, you could have a few of these so your family can take showers or wash themselves up in the midst of a chaotic situation. All right. If you live in an apartment building, you're still able to store a drum, but make sure you're doing it cautiously. Okay. Always keep the lid on and tightly closed, and do not let the children near. Okay. Because, drowning. All right. So if you live in an apartment building and you're able to store one of these in the apartment, right, so you're able to wash up with your family, just make sure you are please keeping the lid closed on these things. All right. And I have put a link here where you're able to find these things. All right. There you go. Non-perishable foods. And I think, common sense kind of, canned food, protein bar, nuts, dried fruits, rice, cooking oil, legumes. What are legumes? Legumes are beans and peas. That's what legumes are. Okay. Honey, brown sugar, flour, crackers, peanut butter, jams, cured meat like codfish, salted beef, so on and so forth, etc. Whatever food of your choice that you choose to store. Make sure you have a can opener. You're going to need it to open food. Plastic plate and cutlery. And why do I put this on the list? Sorry about that, guys. Because in the middle of a disaster or a hurricane or a water outage, right, your goal is to preserve water. You're not going to have enough water to be washing dishes. So use disposables. All right. There we go. You want to preserve your water as much as you can. And thermos. I don't know why this keeps. Okay. Thermos. if you are somebody who especially if you have a young baby at home and you need to give them something warm, you want to have a thermos to keep some hot water in that thermos. If you enjoy drinking coffee or tea or whatever, this is something good to have at home. These are things that I grew up on. And in times like hurricane and stuff like that, these things come in handy to us. You need something hot in your stomach, a cup of tea. There you go. Or some coffee, right? All right. Or you can store some soup in there. How about that? Personal hygiene, soaps, toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, wipes, hand sanitizer, so on and so forth, right? I'm sure a lot of these things you guys already have. Toilet tissues, feminine napkin for the ladies, right? Baby hygienic stuff, diaper, wipes, food, water, clothing, blankets, soaps, etc. for the babies. Can't leave out the babies, right? A baby carrier. In the midst of chaos, you're not going to have time to be lugging around a big stroller, okay? You want to have something that is going to, you put your baby a strapper on, right? So you're able to have your both hands free to do other things, right? So these things come in handy in the midst of chaos, okay? And I put the link here to baby carrier, okay? And here we have another baby carrier. This one.
If I could real quick.
Yes.
I want to say this because I want people to understand what it is that we're doing. A lot of things that you're going over, people probably already have. So somebody said, what we're promoting is for you to have excess. You don't need to use. You don't need to use that you put aside. Excess that you put aside. Something goes down when you can't go to the store. Something goes down when you can't go to the store for a week or breakdown of society. It's a breakdown of society. It's not about buying just what you need. It's not about buying just what you need. It's about having excess that you don't need to touch at emergencies. That is there for emergencies. Unless there's an emergency. I just wanted to say that.
Salaki priest, there's an echo. Salaki priest, there's an echo. Serious echo.
There was a slight echo, but I kind of heard. Here's another baby carrier. This one is for the dad, and also this one is for the children, a little bit older toddler. As you can see, if you're looking at the screen here, this is also a carrier for babies that you don't even have to hold it. As you can, this is what you could well strap this up on you. The child legs are strapped in, right? They're able to sit, relax, and you're still able to have both of your arms free, right? And this is what you want in the midst of chaos. You don't want anything that's going to obstruct you from, stop you from doing other things in the midst of chaos. So this is very convenient. And I put a link here to where you guys can go find this right here if you have little ones at home. All right. First aid kit. Everybody should already have this in the house, bandages, Band-Aid, pain reliever, so on and so forth, right? If you have if you are somebody who's on doctor prescribed medication, you should have something like a waterproof container, such as this right here, to put your stuff like that in, right? Especially if there's a flooding, you need a waterproof container for things like your passports, your insurance document, your birth certificate. Maybe if you own a property, you want to put your property deed in there. You have important things on the computer, like your flash drive, stuff like that. The important documentations, right? You want to put it in something that is waterproof, so it doesn't get they don't get damaged. That's very important. All right, and I put a link here to where you can go find stuff like this. The last thing you want is you have a flood and you lose all your document, and now you can't function. Backpacks, because you might need to leave the house, and you might need to throw some stuff in something and go, and these things come in handy, right? Staying healthy during a natural disaster. Now, I throw this in there because maintaining good health during and after a natural disaster is vital for you and your family. Limited access to clean water, proper sanitation, and medical care, excuse me, can increase the risk of illness. Respiratory infections are among the most common health concerns in these situations, right? It's raining, it's, cold, whatever, there's no electricity, blah, blah, blah. So these situations often cause symptoms such as coughing, wheezing, chest congestion, so on and so forth. So keeping natural medicines readily available to help support the immune system so you don't get sick in the midst of chaos, right? That's important. So I put together here a list of things like herbs, like natural herb. And the first one I have on my list here is mullein. You guys have heard me talk about this all the time. Mullein is one of the best herb for respiratory and lung condition, right? And I'm going to tell you the benefit real quick. It helps to loosen and remove mucus from the lung. It is used for dry, hacking cough, asthma, bronchitis, and sore throat. It eliminates inflammation in the airways. It clears toxins and irritants from the lung. And if you, for those of you also, if you're, if you were a smoker and you struggling with the, lung condition like COPD and stuff like that, all right? It has antibacterial, antiviral, and anti-inflammatory effect, okay? All right, and I've put a link here to where you can find this particular herb here. Okay, golden seal. Very good herb, very expensive though, okay? So I'm just letting you guys know it's very expensive. Golden seal contain berberine, a potent compound known for fighting bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. It helps the body to resist infections such as cold, flu, and sinus infection, and urinary tract infection. It reduces mucus buildup, sinus congestion, sore throat, bronchitis, and cough. So I'm giving you the herbs that helps with respiratory and those type of situation. You again, you're in a disaster and you start coming down with the cold and stuff like that. These are herbs that's going to help you. Echinacea. It stimulates the immune system, making it more effective at fighting off infections such as cold and flu. It has antibacterial, antifungal property and contains compound that fight inflammation. Elderberries, they are rich in antioxidants. Antioxidant helps the body to fight off cold and flu. It also helps to reduce inflammation. Wild cherry bark. Wild cherry bark is primarily used medicinally for respiratory and digestive support. Okay, it is a cough suppressant. It is traditionally used to soothe cough, cold, and bronchitis by drying up the mucus and eliminating the urge to cough. And this is, excuse me, one of the best herb for children. Always recommend this herb for the children. It is often used in children herbal medicine. Okay. There we go. If you guys cannot make your own medicine, you know that not everybody can make their own, all right? But we do have something on that same website I showed you guys earlier. We have something there that has all of the herbs that I just mentioned and a lot more in here. I'm going to name a few: the golden seal, the mullein, the lobelia, the elecampane, the thyme, the ginger, the hyssop, wild cherry bark, elderberry, echinacea, cramp bark, and more. All of that is in here. This right here. Hang on, and I'll show you guys where it is real quick. Here it is right here. And that's on the website Grassroot Botanicals. There's a lot of those herbs inside of it. All right. Now, why did I add a parasite herbal formula here? I'm going to explain. In case of an emergency and you do not have access to a doctor or medications, a parasite formula will help to get rid of infections such as a yeast infection, a urinary tract infection, inflammatory bowel disease, gut inflammation, and if you have gout flare-ups, that will help with it as well. Okay? Simply eliminate sugary foods and drinks for at least 7 days while taking the formula 2 to 3 times a day, 2 capsules each time while drinking lots of water. Okay? That's why this is very important. You want to get something like this and keep it in your house. Magnesium. Why do I suggest magnesium? Magnesium glycinate is gentle on the stomach and help relax the muscles, including those in the respiratory tract. It helps to ease chronic coughing caused by tightness in the airways or spasm, like asthma and bronchitis, okay? Things that are affecting your lung. All right. And I've put a link there. Zinc. Zinc strengthens the immune system. It is crucial for activating immune cells that fight infection. It helps the body to resist viruses, including those that cause cold, flu, and respiratory infection. Zinc can shorten the duration and severity of colds when taken at the first sign of illness. That's why I include zinc in this PowerPoint. All right. Oil of oregano. This helps to inhibit the growth of bacteria, viruses, fungi, reducing infection and promoting wound healing. It boosts the immune system by stimulating the production of white blood cells. It is anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antifungal, and it also helps to promote healthy digestion. And it has a lot of antioxidant property. Okay. I put a link in here to where you can go find it. Why do you need turmeric, ginger? Why do you need this right here? Turmeric contains curcumin, a compound that powerfully reduces chronic inflammation. Ginger contains gingerol, which reduces inflammation in the respiratory tract, muscles, and joint. Black pepper contains purpurine, which boosts curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%, enhancing the effect of turmeric. Together, all 3 of these herbs combined contain strong antioxidant that neutralize free radical, helps the body to fight infection, cold, and flu, by supporting immune cell function. They reduce inflammation in the lung and the sinuses. They reduce symptoms of coughing and congestion. They also improve proper blood flow and blood pressure. That's why I include this in here. And if you have these things at home, you might want to store them. Okay. And I have put a link here to where you can find these things. Blood pressure monitor. If you have high blood pressure, you should always have a monitor to check your pressure. It's very, very, very important, especially in the midst of chaos. Okay. In the midst of chaos, your blood pressure levels is going to go up. You need to monitor it. That's very important. Imagine it's chaos, it's chaotic. You have issues with hypertension, but you don't have anything to check your pressure. You gotta have you gotta do something. You need to take something or check your pressure. I mean, something has to give here. So keep one of these around. Check your pressure, and when you check your pressure, you should know what to do. You should know exactly what to do to bring your pressure down. If you don't know what to do, give us a call. I'll tell you. Assuming you don't have any medication at home. Home and safety supplies. Flashlight and batteries. I think everybody should already have these in the home, and you should have a lot of batteries in the home. A few flashlights. You should have more than one flashlight, especially if you live with multiple people in the home. You should have at least minimum 3 flashlights in the home. They're not expensive at all. I think every house should have at least a minimum of 3 flashlights, because these things, you never know. Something might go bad and the flashlight goes bad, and then you're out of a flashlight because you only have one, right? So you should have multiple flashlights and a lot of batteries. Solar lantern, right? I mean, this is not a necessity, but if you can, grab one of these, that's fine. Put the link here for if you would rather have something like this than a flashlight. Kerosene lamp and kerosene oil. This is something that I grew up with. So this is something that we have here in the house. Because it's just a habit, I guess. This has been tested, by my family. So, hey, the link is right here to where you can go find these things. Like I said, I have provided the link for everything, almost everything that I have here on the list. All right. So, kerosene oil and kerosene lamp. It comes in handy. All right. And they're not expensive. And I've also added some lamp wicks. These are wicks for the lamp. All right. And this you can find on Amazon for about $5. You can all 3 of these are $5. They're very cheap. You need them for your lamp. Matches or lighter. Everybody should have that in the house. Make sure you keep one in every room. Because when the light go out and it's dark, you need to be able to find it. You shouldn't be running around in the house looking for your match or your lighter. You should know where they are, because you should put at least 1 box of match in each room. There you go. A battery powered radio, AM and FM radio. Why do we need this? Well, we're all stuck on technology, your swipe phone, your touch phone, right? But they won't be of any use if you lose power and for a long extended, if you extended amount of time, and you may, if you don't have a proper charger to charge your phone. You want to hear what's going on in the news and know what's going on with the weather, right? So it's good to have one of these old school radio, and they're still available. You can find these on Amazon, and I put a link right here to where you can find it. All right. They're not expensive at all. Okay. And I'm going to tell you guys, most of what I'm showing you guys here is, okay, I've been have these things for years. Solar phone charger for your phone, to charge your phone. You'd be surprised how many people don't have stuff like this. I've provided a link here that you can find this on Amazon. Okay. Battery phone charger, whichever one you prefer. Just make sure you get yourself a charger for your phone. All right. A tarp. Why do we need a tarp? Well, for those of you who live in, regular houses, right? Especially if you live in rural area, if there's a hurricane, a storm, a flooding, whatever, it's raining, God forbid, a tree or a branch might come down on your house or knock your windows out, right? A tarp is a temporary fix in the midst of a storm, all right? It's good to have a tarp or a couple of them to keep the water out, okay? Water and the wind out of the house. Make sure you have some of these, and they're not expensive at all. I've put the link here to where you can find tarp. Toolboxes. Why do you need a toolbox? Well, you need something to keep your tools where you know where they are, so you're not running around the house looking for a hammer and some nails. God forbid, if there's a storm and something comes loose, you need to be able to do some basic house repair during an emergency, right? That's something I see growing up. With the wind is so strong, something on the side of the house is blowing. You can grab a hammer and some nails and start, go to work. All right, there you go. Cutting tools. Why do you need cutting tools in the midst of disaster? Well, you may need cutting tools like machete and axe. If you live, again, in a rural area where there are lots of trees, right? Let's say a tree or a tree branch fall on top of your property, your vehicle, maybe something fall in your driveway. You're not able to pick up the phone and call for an emergency tree cutter, right? You can get yourself out if you have to, leave. These are tools that come in handy, right? There we go. I've put the link to these things here. Everybody should have a machete in the house, at least. Duct tape and rope. Again, for temporary repairs. A fire extinguisher in case of a fire. And I have put the link here where you can find fire. I think every home already should have a fire extinguisher. Guys, if you don't have a fire extinguisher, please go out and get a fire extinguisher. That's very important. All right? Very, very important. There's a link here where you can find it, but I'm telling you guys right now, Home Depot, Lowe's, and these places have fire extinguishers, and they are not expensive at all. All right. Water boots. Why do you need a water boots? Well, if there's flooding, you need water boots. I put a link here where you can go find water boot, but if you go to Amazon, you could just type in water boots and a whole bunch of it will come up. But again, there's a link here. By the way, speaking of water and water boots, I meant to put the video here, but my husband sent me a video of, I don't know if you guys seen that video of Brooklyn, right? A few days ago, there was a flooding in Brooklyn. And, a lot of us think that these things can't happen here, flooding. I mean, just a few days ago, I've seen flooding in Brooklyn, and the buses, the passenger buses, could barely get through the water. The water was up to the almost the top of the cars in Brooklyn just a couple of days ago, right? Imagine if there was a real disaster. A generator, fuel, an extension cord. If you're going to have a generator, you're going to need these things, especially if it's the one that use, gas, right? I've put a link here where you could go, where you can find a generator. Believe it or not, these things are not that expensive, guys. They're not, okay? You have power outage for an extended amount of time, you're going to need something like this, especially if it's going to be in the middle of winter and you live in a state where it's going to be cold. And before I move on, when we're talking about your fuel here, you do not want to store gas in these things for a long period of time, guys, okay? Do not store gas in these things for an extended period of time. All right. It'll start to get a condensation of water, and you don't want to damage your machine. Okay, bucket and trash bags, and you want these for water, leaks, hygiene, sanitation, and storage. And I have put a link here where you can find just basic bucket and trash bags. Gloves. Need gloves. You need you might need this spare tire and repair kit. It's very good to have. You know, keep these things in your car. You never know. Make sure you always have a spare tire in your vehicle, and you have a repair kit. You know, you in the midst of chaos, you may not be able to call your mechanic, right? If your tire your tire is punctured, you can do it yourself. You do it yourself. There you go.
Sis, that's so true. Sis, that's so true.
Hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's very important. I mean, how many of you guys watching have a spare tire in your trunk and also a repair kit? You want to think about that. And even if you're driving long distance, you're going somewhere and you get a flat, that's something that comes in handy until you get to the next town.
Right. Also the
All right.
also the jumpers also. I bought
I'm
my
sorry,
wife one.
I didn't hear you.
I bought my wife one. You know, when your if your battery dies or whatever, if your battery dies or whatever, you don't have to get the long jumper cable. You don't have to get the long jumper cables. It's like a small little box, and you could flip it on your battery and give yourself a jump. Also, they have the electric tire inflator. If it's some type of disaster, you try to get to my gas station working, right? So they got the electric one, right? So they got the electric one. It's battery charge, and it's battery charge, and it can also make the type. I know there's an echo slocket, but it is.
Yeah, see if you could put the phone up a little bit closer. You're going in and out. Was that it? Elder Zahab?
Yeah, Khan. Absolutely. Yeah, Khan.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
I think I kind of ran through this quickly. But I want to say, right, that this is not as I mentioned at the beginning, this is not a full list. Like, I'm sure there are other things that people can add. Feel free to add to this list, guys. Okay. Feel free to add to the list. All right. This is not a full comprehensive list. This is just, I'm sure there are more things that you can add here, but if the priests want to tell us where we can go and find this list. Hang on, guys. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Give me a second, guys. All right, guys. Sorry about that. So, listen. Well, first, let me tell you guys where you can find this. Okay, you guys can find this at this list. I'm talking about this list because we are going to be making this list available, so you guys can just go over it and see the stuff that you may, some things that you may have and some things you don't have. Right. This is going to be on the Lions of Israel website, thelionsofisrael.com. Okay, let me type it in somewhere here, so yeah, you guys can hold on. As priests always say, we build it while we fly it, right? Build it while we fly it. There we go. Give me a second, guys, so I can type it in for those of you who are watching, so you guys can see where to go and download this full list. Okay. Hang on, guys. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Hopefully you guys are able to see the screen here. Okay. Okay, so I have made the screen bigger. This is where you can find this list here, all right? And we're also going to put it on, I'm sorry, forgot the other website. So you're going to find this list on both of these websites, guys, okay? There we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. That's where you can go and download the list. We haven't put it up yet, okay? So it'll probably be up in the morning, okay? Between the time we finish with this live and tomorrow morning, you'll see these, this PDF will be available for download on these two websites right here, thelionsofisrael.com or grassrootbotanicals.com. It'll be on both of those websites. You go there and download it for free. Nobody's charging you for anything. You just go there and you download the entire list. It's going to be in the form of PDF, okay? Now, listen, you don't have to be forced to buy all of this up. If you live somewhere where you have good neighbors, you have your family, you have, you're very good with family, you guys can come together and buy some of this stuff, right? Like a generator, or I know when we had flooding and our neighbors were not able to afford a generator, they would come to my dad's house because he had a generator. You see what I'm saying? My dad would invite neighbor over to the house and they would be able to have something warm, a warm meal or whatever the case is, because, you have to be good to your neighbor, right? So we're not saying that you have to go out and buy all of this stuff, but just make sure that you have a good relationship with people around you who you're able to come together and share, right? That's what it's all about, right? There you go. I think we've come to the end of it, really. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share this again. If for those of you guys who wanted to donate, give a donation, again, here's where you can go. Maccabees TV on Cash App, right? That donation will go directly for just basic essential like food and water and stuff like that. All right. There you go. Does Brother Zahab or Priest Allah have anything else to say?
Nope. So we can end it. If nobody has questions. We can end it if nobody has questions.
All right. I don't think anybody have questions. Does anybody have questions? Let me just look in the chat here.
Hey, while you're looking, excellent class. Hey, while you're looking, excellent class. My question is this,
Thank you.
man. My question is this, man. The first video that you showed about the farm, that was very informative. That was very informative. Salmon, when I buy salmon, I look for wild caught. It sounds as if salmon, but it sounds as if difference anyway. So like should we stop eating? Difference anyway. So should we stop eating?
Okay, so I want, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm so happy you mentioned that because I wanted to say something about that. So next week class, I'm gonna go deeper into this stuff. Okay, so for those of you guys who are here, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper into this farm raising stuff and all of this stuff. Okay, and I might be able to come to you guys with some information on where you can go and get your fish. All right. Sadly, most fishes sold in the US is farm raised. I could not believe the research that I found, because people are not going out catching fishes anymore. It's all about supply and demand. Just grabbing the quick stuff and doing it quick so that you can feed the masses, right? And so nobody is really going out and fishing anymore. It's just, let's create a farm in the middle of a river or a lake or an ocean and farm fishes. And in the midst of these farms, there are a lot of bacteria and sickness in these fishes, and then we're eating it, right? And I'll say this: I don't eat fillet fish. These fillet fishes are the ones that'll make you sick even more, because those are the ones that they kind of cut up, the ones with the sickness, and they kind of fillet it and cut off the pieces that was rotting or whatever the case is. And so you don't even know that fish was rotting. If you're going to eat fish, you need to eat whole fish, so you're able to look at the fish and see that it doesn't have any disease on it. That's important. This is why, again, when it comes to, I tell people, if you're going to eat chicken or beef or fish, make sure they're fully intact, meaning they have bones in it. Make sure your chicken have bones. The meat, the boneless chicken. Did you guys know I may not say this now because I'm going to bring this out next week. The United States passed a law that they can now sell a factory created chicken in the supermarket. These meat that they've created in the factory a few years ago. That was they allowed that. So some of these boneless meat that you're buying is actually created in a factory. They were not raised on a farm anywhere. And so anyway, I'll be talking about this more next week. Okay. Stay away from the boneless meat. I know that, you know, it's convenience and you don't want to deal with the bones and all this stuff, but it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you at all, because it's a lot of it is not, it's not real meat. It's the Esau is it's crazy out here, brother. It's crazy. It is this stuff. Sometimes I don't want to bring these things out because, you know, people get so overwhelmed with this stuff that the European is doing is sickening. It's sickening. And when you bring it to your people, it's hard to digest. It's very difficult to digest. But you do have to tell the truth. All right. So that's going to be next week class. That's going to be next week class. Sorry, somebody have a question here. Let me see can you go into which pots we should use? And somebody wants to know which pots to use. Stainless steel pot, you know. Can't go wrong with stainless steel. Or if you have one of them older Dutch pot. All right. All right. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. We have come to the end of our class. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And again, thank the brothers and sisters who have sent they're very kind enough to send a donation so I can help my family out. Thank you for that. I'm very grateful for that, by the way. And I'm very grateful for the brothers and sisters who have checked in just to, you know, see how my family's doing. That really touched me a lot. All right. So thank you guys for that. All right.
All right. Shalom. We'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you guys next week.